You're fit, you.
We're looking at the championship promotion race. We're taking 10 applicants. However, you've got to be in the top 10 except from special circumstances. So for this, obviously we're going to get rid of Bristol City because they'd get a nosebleed if they were to finish in playoffs. They're never allowed higher than 9th ever. And I'm going to swap them in for Norwich. I've had to scroll down, that's how bad it is. But I am going to swap them in for Norwich because I think they're the over serious contender to going up. Like Derby, maybe if they sorted their away form out. But even their own form's been quite poor recently. Swansea never do out. So I'm just doing a straight swap. Bristol City for Norwich. And let's talk about Norwich first. But yeah, this is where we're at with promotion racing championship. It is obviously dodgiest league in the world. Literally anything could happen. Absolutely anything. And Norwich haven't won in 6 games. Like, if I scroll back down to them, they haven't won in 6 games. But it's within reason, because a lot of the better players are currently injured. If we scroll down to the missing players, like Josh Sargent is probably one of the 2 best players. Him and Borges Hands, who has been the best player this season so far. I think he's got 11 goals, 2 assists. Sargent's one of very limited, serious number 9s, I think, in this league. Him and Madge have been best 2, and probably our best 2. Tom Cannon's been quite good as well, to be fair. But he's out. Nunes is out as well. Midfielder is quite good. They've got a lot of squaddies out as well. So it's going to take a hit on you. Bristol City, to be fair, I mean, I swapped them out from, didn't I? Bristol City bet them 2-0. And Bristol City have got a lot of injuries. But the players that Norwich are missing are like, they're not just like the team's best players. Some of the best players in the league, like Sargent is one of the best players in the league, full stop, and he's been injured. Any team that's got that sort of attacking talent is going to be up there. And Norwich have got 2 of the best forwards in this league with Borges Hands and Sargent. When their injury list comes down, I feel like Norwich will slowly start to go up. They'll not be an auto chaser because they concede way too many. And I don't actually think they'll finish in playoffs, but I think they'll be closer than Bristol City because Bristol City are capped at 10th. So do I think Norwich will finish higher than 10th? Yes. But I don't think they'll get in playoffs. I think they'll be just outside. Now, if we look at teams that are actually in top 10, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be a start. Blackburn are next. I mean, they actually won last week before their international break kicked in. It were 3-1 win away at Cardiff on half 12, and they looked really, really good. Before that, they'd sort of dropped off a little bit with the losses recently. But I really, really like them under Eustace. I really, really do. I think the recruitment as well has been top notch. To say that they lost Sammy Smodics, who this is best player in the league from last season, or top goal scorer at least. It remembers some of the best 2 players in the league. For a side that finished, like 5th bottom, they look like they were a dead cert for relegation up until the last couple of weeks. And if you're losing your top goal scorer and your top creator and your best player in general, for a side that had threatened relegation season before, you don't expect him to be in any sort of promotion race season after. I'd have said that Blackburn would have been happy with 4th bottom before the season started. But their incomings have been really, really good. They got a lot of money for Smodics, in fairness. They said that I think he only had a year left on his contract. Like Todd Cantwell, it could be a bit of a fanny, can't he? And he's definitely on a fat wage for the cheap price that they got him. Because it was supposed to be some like superstar at Norwich when he before he went to Rangers. He's all right. He's good for this level. Another one, Andrew Vyman from Bristol City on a free. I don't know who sanctioned that at Bristol City, not giving him a new contract, unless they did and Blackburn offered him more money, but I can't see that being the case. Andrew Vyman, at this division, just scores goals. It just does. And I think the goals that they scored against Cardiff away before international break were very, very well worked. They can be a little bit stubborn with the playing out front back, but not as to the extremes as certain other managers that I really dislike. I like John Eustace. I think the squad as a whole is quite an even level. But do I think they'll get in there? No. Again, I think they'll be just outside, same as Norwich. I just can't see them keeping up this consistent level for a full season. Fuck 'em up. God, I really hope these do it. Like, I really, really would love to see Millwall in Prem. Imagine, there'd be absolute carnage. It'd be a great laugh. Since Harris has come back in, nobody has took more championship points than Millwall. Unless it's Leeds, maybe, after the last week. But I knew that after Millwall Betton, which was the week before, Millwall had leapfrogged Leeds. They're the top 2 anyway. Like, Millwall are an automatic promotion team since Neil Harris has took over. That is a fact. And that just shows how good Neil Harris is. Some managers are just... they're handcrafted to certain clubs, aren't they? It's often a team that they support. They know the culture. They know what style of football works. They know fans. They know literally everything about the club. Like Wilder at Sheffield United's another one. And Millwall are always close, aren't they? They're always just a couple steps away. Like, it feels like they always finish 12th to 18th most of the time, regardless of how they start, if it's poor or good. They always seem to finish in that sort of range between 12th and 8th. We have Bristol City and a Preston most of the time. They never get it over the line. And for Millwall standards, they obviously tried a new thing at start of last season. They brought Joe Edwards in, who were an England coach, I think, at the time, who likes playing it out front back, he likes keeping ball, he likes playing total football, and they nearly went down. So you can try and play whatever style of football you want, but if you've not got the players there that are capable of playing it, which Millwall haven't, Millwall are handcrafted to spamming balls into the box and being very defensively solid. They're not good enough at playing it out front back to play that sort of stuff. That's why they conceded so many goals. Neil Harris is the perfect fit for this club, and because it's not pretty, people don't give him the respect that he deserves. He's a fantastic manager. They've conceded 2 goals in the last 7 games. 2. They've only scored 6 as well, in fairness, which is very Swansea vibes. But Millwall have had 4 wins and 2 draws in the last 6. Well, you can say it another way. They've had 4 wins and a draw in the last 5. They've not lost in, I don't know, 7 games now. So defensively, very, very solid. I do just worry, and I think it's very Millwall, to not get in. I would love them to, but I don't think they've got enough going forward. In all honesty, I don't think they've got enough goals in them for a team that will finish in top 6. So same as Blackburn, same as Norwich, same as Bristol City. I think they'll be just outside, which is sad because I really want them to get in. And it's definitely a club on the up, but at the minute I can't see it. I'm sorry, boys. So we've done Norwich. I'm just hovering over Bristol City and pretending they're not there. We've done Blackburn, we've done Millwall. Next up, Middlesbrough. They are definitely finishing in playoffs. Definitely, I'm confident on that one. So unlucky. I've just given it kiss of death, Middlesbrough fans, but I think Middlesbrough are definitely getting in playoffs. Shoot me. They have got some very, very good players for this league, Middlesbrough. Some top championship players. As inconsistent as they can be, Cappuccino stood up front, latte laugh, baller when he wants. So the goals that he scores, unreal. Finazaz, he started playing serious now. I told you. No one believed me with him. A lot of Middlesbrough fans telling me he's crap. I told you. Just patience with that guy. This is serious. Aidan Hackney at middle. Again, very good. Ben Doak. That Bergzoig, him there on wing that scored 2 against Luton. The defence is quite good. I like him. Michael Carrick, the way that they play, I love it. They dominate majority of games. Literally every game that I've watched this season of Middlesbrough, they've been best team by an absolute mile. Like Sheffield United especially, which is against a very, very good side. They could have been 3-4-0 up in that game. They're not clinical enough. And obviously the last 2 games, what am I on about? They've scored 9 goals in the last 2 games. That's obviously changed recently. But across the length of this season, Middlesbrough have got to be top on XG. They've got to be top on more or less every stat that shows that you should be winning games. But they're not. Like with the way that Middlesbrough have played and how the performances have been, from what I've seen, they would not look out of place top of this division at all. They look really, really good. But they can be inconsistent. Like they'll go from beating West Brom away to losing away at Watford and at home to Bristol City to then beating Sheffield United. Do you know what I mean? They're very inconsistent, but even that looks like it might have changed last couple of weeks. Obviously, international break can be a blessing or a curse, can't it? Regardless of what team you are. So who knows what they'll be like after this? They might change completely again. But I'm definitely having them in playoffs. At least. Like, there could be an auto chaser, really, if they nail it down defensively a little bit more. And we're a good January, who knows, because Middlesbrough are a big club, they might have a bit of brass, I don't actually know. But I can see these finishing about 4th or 5th. Middlesbrough, if I'm serious. Unlucky. Watford next, who are currently 6th. And to be fair, they've got some very, very good players as well. This Georgian fella on wing, baller, I'm telling you. Kakvedzi, baller. I mean, we are looking at top end of Championship here, aren't we? So there are going to be some very good players. But he is a Prem player. He's so good. I've always liked that centre half, to be fair. That Pollock, I think he's good as well. And cleverly has got the boys playing. Even though I've just said that I like the centre half, they concede too many goals. If we look at it here, they've conceded 22 goals in 15. None of other sides round here. Middlesbrough closest, where... Well, they've got 5 less, and they're the closest one. They're conceding way too many goals, I think, to sustain the position that they're at. It is going to catch up with. And if it weren't for scoring 6 against Wednesday and Boyo having a masterclass, they'd have a negative goal difference and be sat in playoffs. It's not sustainable enough, and I think they will slip out. Sadly, I cannot see them here in May, so I'm going to put Watford out of playoffs, and I'm going to put Middlesbrough in there and just swap them 2 around. God, we're zooming through these, aren't we? Baggers! I'm very, very tempted to make a full video on these and what I actually think, because I feel like there's so much to say about West Brom. So let me know if you actually want to see that or not. Probably not. They are sat in 5th currently, I believe. Yeah, they are sat in 5th. They're currently 6 points off 2nd, or 6 points off top, if you want to put it that way as well. But the playoff, it's really tight in it around here. So who knows with West Brom? But I think I know. Before beating Hull away at international break, they'd not won in 8 games. They'd had 2 losses there and then 6 draws on bonds before beating Hull away. They have also got best manager in league. I will not let that go. I just won't let it go. I love how organised West Brom look. Every player looks like they actually know what they're doing and what the role is. Every player looks like they're doing it. They don't look like they're playing off cuff. is what I'm trying to say. That's quite a compliment as well, I think, with this league. They're not completely obsessed with keeping ball. They can change play styles seamlessly. There's no real hiccups, I don't think, performance-wise, with how they can play against certain teams and how they can change it. They look accustomed to whatever they're typing to play. And again, they've definitely got some of the best players in the league. Like Josh Maja, I was talking about Sargent with him earlier. Maja's been very, very good. He's got 9 goals in 15. I feel like that's something that Carlos has been missing in his time at West Brom, because obviously he's had DK, who were an absolute monster when he was at Barnsley. Easily the best striker I've ever seen Barnsley have in my life. He was an absolute joke. And he's been so unlucky with injuries, because he could have been him. They could have been up already if he'd have been fit with the goals that I know he can score. They've got Moat as well, like another ex-Red midfielder, very, very good, easily one of the best players in the league. Again, Fellows is good, but he's young. Callum Grant, I think, is quite good. Defensively, I like him. Like, Palmer at net's very, very good. But the personnel defensively ain't all that. Like, compared to other sides that are at the top of this, like, if you compare them to other top 5, so them in 5th and Burnley, Sheffield United, Sunderland, West Brom have got the worst squad by a landslide. By an absolute mile, they've got worse squad. But I also think that they've got best manager, so it evens itself out a bit. And the main reason that I'm saying this, if they have a good January, because that's going to be massive for them, and they really need another creative spark in middle. Because, again, if you look at who's actually scored goals for West Brom this season in the league, you're going all the way past defence. They're not good enough from set pieces either. Malumbi's got 1. Moat's got 3. Grant's got 3. And Madge's got 9. So, apart from that 1 goal from Malumbi, only 3 players are scoring goals from him. The width aren't scoring. They're just not doing enough. They need another threat, really, from middle at Park, I think. And the wingers, even though they're young, Fellows are going to start picking it up a bit. Mikey Johnson's been nowhere as good this time as he were last. I know he's been not been playing as much. But they need to get some more goals from different areas at pitch. If they do, top 2. Genuinely, I think they will go autos, because I just think Carlos is that good. I really do. This league is very poor. And there's few to nil teams that are moving me that much. And I think West Brom just on fact of the manager that they've got. And now they're almost constantly in games. They're always grinding points out. I think they'll be up there. I really, really do. Baggy's top 2. I know it's not because of Tom Garrett, you weirdos. Burnley stink. They stink. A team with so many talented individuals. The attacking talent that they've got. With Scott Parker in charge. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why would you do that? Why? Scott Parker's main talent is removing all ability that any player has got. And he makes them all the same. They coaches the life out of players. The spark that someone can have when they walk into the door at Burnley is gone. Honestly, as soon as you shake his hand, it's over. It's like he's going to... That he could just remove all your ability instantly. They've not scored an open play goal in like 5-6 games. They've had 1 win in 5, and it's at home to Swansea the last game with a penalty. I mean, they rarely lose because defensively they're actually quite good, and they've got players like Esteve stood there, who's a very, very good centre-half in fairness. But they've only got 18 goals with this team. 18 goals. They're creating nothing. They're so boring. They've got 2 goals in 5 games with them players that they've got and money that they've spent last couple of years. It's ridiculous. And they'll definitely be in playoffs because of the defensive record and how good it is. But giving someone like Parker reins of that team... The higher-ups that made that decision, they want to be embarrassed because you've killed... You're buying these young attacking players for the potential that they've got. At like, so the market value when you buy them is 50 million quid. You're making them worse. What kind of model is that by bringing someone like this in? You want to bring someone in like Company again? Or as stubborn as he were in Premier League, at least in Championship, he's got boys going all over the place and he's getting the value of his players up. But yeah, definitely playoffs. Whether they've got enough to win it, to be fair, in a one-off game, I would fancy them, in all honesty. But they're creating nothing. They might bought opposition to sleep. That might be a chance of going up. But with Burnley in there, I've now got Burnley and Middlesbrough as 2 of my playoff teams. I've got West Brom as an auto. So 2 of these are Leeds, Sheffield United and Sunderland are going to be at playoffs. And one of these is going up autos with West Brom, in my mind. We will talk about Leeds first. Felicia's doing it, ain't she? Football's biggest embarrassment, innit? A one-team City with more seasons in League One than the top half at Prem in the last 2 decades. Literally, I think it's the 3rd biggest one-team city in Europe. You'd expect these to win league easily, or being top 2 at least, because they've easily got one of the best squads in league again. It's an absolute laughing stock, really, that they didn't go up last season with what this team, or the majority of this team, with Somerville, Reuter, Archie Gray added to it, even like Kamara as well, some players like that. And they couldn't go up that time, so why should they be able to do it this time, really? Even though the league is much, much worse. To be fair, this Tanaka that they've brought in middle, very, very good. I will give him that one. He's insane, that midfielder. He's the closest thing I've seen to Calvin Phillips that they've got since he's gone. He's mint. But look at the players that you've lost. You've lost these boys. Why should they go up? I mean, they've still got a very, very good squad regardless of these leaving. Like, they've obviously got that Tanaka in middle. Willie no goals. Pirro up front, that Joseph and all, if he wants to come in. Ampadu, very, very good as well. Struick and Firpo, Rodon. It's a championship super team, realistically. And they're very, very good at home. Like, as you'd expect, Leeds away, Ellen Road, you're expecting for this to be one of the hardest games of the season every single time when you go in championship, which it always is. But even, like, atmosphere's going down. Like, I mean, that sounded shit every single time I've watched them this season. They've got too many plastics in there now that they've started being half decent. It was better atmosphere when it were half empty. Got Fark as well, who's like a specialist at getting out of this league. But he's also a specialist at coming straight back down. So if they had to go up, you know the fate straight away before a ball's kick is 20th. He relies on having best players and best squad in the league by a mile to get promoted. Because that's what he were at Norwich. Let's not kid. He won league twice with Norwich, which is a very good achievement. But it's because he had best players. He had Emi Buendia. Like, he was an absolute freak at time. Like, one of the best championship players ever. Pookie was scoring like 100 goals a year with his eyes shut. And it's like... And then when you get to Premier League with him, he's got worse squad. He's suddenly gone from having best to worse, playing the same style. So he's going to get slapped about. Because his play style is... To be fair, the build-up's quite nice, but then it's get it to one of his best players, get it to one of his wingers or his forward and just let him ball out, let him just wing it. It just has not got any sort of clue, and it's like... It's even worse this season, Wayne, from what I've seen than last. Because they go 1-0 up or something, and then they'll sit back and defend instead of going for... It's Leeds in this league. It should be slapping everybody. Maybe his juju's just run out. Like, away from home, they've not got the bite in them at all. They're 7th away from home. And in the last 5, they've won 1, which are away at Cardiff. And if you want to put it this way, in the last 4, they've not won a game away from home. Norwich, Sunderland, Bristol City and Millwall. 4 half-decent sides, 3 draws and a loss. It's not good enough for a side that wants to go up, autos, which is what Leeds want to do. And I've always disliked Fag, because he's slimy for a start, and he looks like his clutch is in his living room. Even before Leeds, this has just made it worse for me. I think he's severely overrated, and unless they spend a ridiculous amount of money Leeds, which you never know, like they lived the dream at the end of the day, you never know with Leeds and money, I don't think they win league. I don't. And with Fag, I just can't see it. I think him and Leeds combination is just a certified bottle. I think they'll finish 3rd. I do. I've got West Brom to go up autos. I think Leeds will finish 3rd. And then it's an instant loss because they're crap in place and they've got no bottle. So that then leaves either Sheffield United or Sunderland to go up automatics and over to be doomed to the playoffs. And let me just reiterate again, this is not a bias with Leeds. I'm not, like, get a grip. Do you know what I mean? I'm only biased towards Barnsley half the time. I'm not against any teams. But Sheffield United, actually. We'll talk about Sheffield United next because they're in second and we're doing it in order. Obviously, I said they finish 18th before the season started. I didn't expect the recruitment to be anywhere near as good as it's been. So then I put them in 12th, didn't I? But then they kept Hamer and Anil Dave and Souza. So here I am. We're either in playoffs or automatics. The transfers have been like actual chef's kiss. I really, really did not expect him to do as well as they have done in transfer market. I'm not going to lie to you. I knew they weren't going to spend loads of money, but getting Burrows from Peterborough and Cooper from Plymouth for what, 5 million quid combined? Obviously that's in euros, but 5 million pounds combined. It's not. It's literally not. That is insane value. Some of the frees that they've got as well, like Campbell, Shackleton, McCallum, the decent squad players, you know what I mean? The loans have been good. Raksaki and Suter as well, really, really top-end loans. Obviously O'Hare on a free as well. Even though he's a bit of a soft ass and he goes mincing around middle of pitch doing no half at time, it's a good business getting him on a free. They lost nobody of real importance when you actually look at it. Cam Minaj crap at the end of the day. Osula, they've absolutely pulled Newcastle's pants down with that one. None of these are a big miss. I think the only miss that they've actually seriously got is McBurney. And I know Sheffield United fans are quite split on him, whether they like him or not. But a number 9, I think, is the only thing that Sheffield United are actually missing. I think that is the key ingredient that they're missing to just absolutely piss league to bits with squad that they've got, because they've got a super team. The 11 that they've got is best hands down. Squad wise, it's just not. I don't think, because they've not got the depth there realistically, which is what I've been saying for ages. That was my reason at the start of the year why they finished 18th. I didn't expect the recruitment to be as good as it's been, in fairness. But the squad, the depth is shit. It's crap. Even if you're a Sheffield United fan now, I know for a fact it's going to get clipped and put on Twitter. You cannot, with a straight face, tell me that you think your depth is good. You can't, because it's just not. You're just lying to yourself. And obviously, Arblas is injured as well, isn't he? He stubbed his toe against Wednesday and he's injured now. Soft D-da. So, only negative things that I've got, really, for Sheffield United are that they need a proper striker, because I don't rate Kiefer Moore anymore, and they've given him like a 3-year deal at 40 grand a week, which is ridiculous. They need a proper striker and a bit more depth, especially in middle. But, credit where it's due. Do you know what I mean? I will hold my hands up and apologise for getting prediction wrong. I think Wilder's a ball sack, but he's got a very, very good side here. I do think he's a severely overrated manager, but they can look good. So when I've seen Sheffield United play, it's very often called with the performances, but when they look good, they look good. I mean, obviously, the main reason they win is because they've got better players than everybody else, like in their 11, that are also worse than everybody else in Prem as well, by the way. So I worry that, realistically, out of these teams, whatever the 3 are that go up, they're probably all going to come back down anyway. Do you know what I mean? The gap's just that big. It's quite sad. And Sheffield United are picking points up when they're playing crap. But the performances in this division, even the good ones, if you go and play like that in Premier League, you're getting dicked. You gain 16 points and 100 goals conceded. They'll probably break the record again. But that is a sign of a very, very good team, which I've been saying for ages. It's just one of them football cliches, isn't it? If you're playing crap and you can still win these games, man. Oh, God, that sign of a very, very good team. And I'm on about Premier League and like, oh my God, can they stay up again? But that's not the video, is it? We're talking about this season. We're on about who's going up. And defensively, they're very, very good. They can play crap and win. They can play good and win. I'm just going to say it again. Defensively, they're very, very good. Cooper, I tell you what, he's got a full tub of hair gel in and he has not moved an inch, his haircut. He looks majestic all the time, even when he's springing himself about. He barely has to do anything for the most part because the defensive front of him is very, very good as well. But it's like Liverpool. They're like the Liverpool of the Championship. You've got to get past this insane defence to then come up against him. Massive and all, Cooper. You've got no chance. He's a unit, him. And I don't know what's happening with their owner situation because it changes all the time. Alan Nixon just writes arse on it in his papers to try and sell it because he's bored. But if they get to January, can keep the best players again, which I was surprised that they did in first place. Maybe the Arblas are injured. Might stop teams from coming in for him as well. They tighten up a little bit middle and get some depth in, and they're getting, most importantly, they get a proper number 9. Like, obviously, Tom Cannon's got, they've been linked with him loads of times, haven't they? Tom Cannon's got 6 at Stoke, I think, so far this season. You put him in this team at Sheffield United, he's on double that easily. I started at 18th with these before a ball was kicked. I think they'll win league. I know. Footballer, but I think Sheffield United win this league. And the crap against good sides, like, let's not get it twisted, dog. These are crap against good sides. The 2 losses so far this season have been away at Leeds and Middlesbrough. And they were miles worse side, especially at Middlesbrough, where they were really, really crap. But the thing that's going in Sheffield United's favour is that there aren't many good sides in this league. So they've got 2 hardest ones out of way. What else is there? None of these sides are even that good. The league's shit. The next fixtures are quite tough, in fairness, so I might have just put a professional jinx on them. Like, they've got Coventry away next game, which is a bit dodgy. I don't know if Lampard will be in for that. He probably will be. But then you've got like Sunderland, West Brom and Millwall in the next 5 games. They're quite tough. So they could be in a completely different situation and position at Christmas. But I think they'll win this league. Oh no, God, I don't even know anymore. So I've got Sheffield United and Baggies as my top 2, which means that Sunderland, I think, will end up dropping into playoffs. Which isn't because I don't think Sunderland are good. I've said for a while now, I think Sunderland are building a team that will honestly obliterate this league, probably sooner than later. They've got Kirk. I've never said his name right. They've got Kirkin and Hume, the fullbacks, very, very good. Like Meffam on loan this season, which obviously won't mean anything for the grand scheme of things. But 09's good. They've got Dan Neil, Chris Rigg, Joe Bellingham, even like Alan Brown, Ayup in middle. Like, Alan Brown's not young, don't get me wrong, but the other ones, it's a very young team. Some of the attacking players are very, very good. And even if they are to sell maybe like a Joe Bellingham or a Chris Rigg, 2 that are getting shipped about a little bit, we're linked all over the place, they're getting a boatload of brass for it. They're going to get 20 million quid at least for either of them players. You're looking at like at least 50 million quid for both of them if both of them to go. In Championship, you can reinvest that in so many different areas. They're scoring a lot of goals. 25 so far in 15 games. That's most in the league. They've only conceded 11, which is more than the other 4 below them. but on a 14 goal difference, which is second best. The only thing that I've got against them, which is my reasoning for this, putting them down a little bit, is that I just worry a little bit that they're quite a young team. Like, especially in middle at Park. Maybe there's a bit of naivety creeping in. They've had 3 draws in a row. They were 2-0 up at home to struggling Coventry and didn't even have a manager to then draw 2-2. They've got a foreign manager who's in his first year in this country. And this might be me, like, thinking long-term and if they can survive it Prem. But I think another year or a young team developing and, like, maturing together as a squad, more experience with this gaffer as well, I think they'll win it next year. So I spoiled it, but I think they'll end up in playoffs and I don't think they'll win. So that means I've got Sunderland in playoffs, but losing. Leeds are in playoffs, but that's an automatic loss for them as well because they just can't hack it in playoffs, can they? Which means I'm whittled down to either Middlesbrough or Burnley to go up with Sheffield United and West Brom if I'm right with that. And I want to say Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough probably deserve it for how they play. But I think in one-off games, terrorism ball would probably win. So I'm gonna go Burnley. So with this promotion picture, we've got 10 upwards plus Norwich. I've settled on Sheffield United winning league somehow, West Brom second, and Burnley through playoffs. And guarantee now, all 3 of them straight back down. But that's that. Great boys, pleasure. Thank you as always for watching. Let me know what your 3 teams are because I would like to know. I want to get people's thoughts on this and to make sure I'm not going crazy. Thank you as always for watching. Love you. Want to see you in a bit. And you Reds will be in this league next season. Will be in this video.
I say I'm a man, yes I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us me tits.